Put your face mask on. Super mellow. Oh, sit down. Let's get her over this. Let's get you out of this little thing first. Yeah, it'll be okay, George. Let's just get this thing a little tighter on your face. So I don't know if y'all have long-haired cats, but if you do, then you understand the struggle, right? The cats, if you don't constantly brush them and get the dreadlocks out of their hair and bathe their long hair, and if they get to be old and they don't bathe themselves very well, then it just gets, their hair just gets nasty and dreadlocky and they're uncomfortable. And also, if you have cats that have 6 and 7 fingers on each hand and fingernails all over the place, then it's another struggle, right? So we got the double whammy on that. And for a while, we called a mobile groomer to come over, and the mobile groomer would bring their truck over, and they would come in and get one cat and take the cat out to the truck and shave the cat like I'm doing here and give it a bath and clip its fingernails. And then they would do the other one, and it ended up costing like $300 a time to do that. And so I thought, well, why don't I just shave the cat myself? That would save so much time. And there's no way, if you ever met George, then you know that she's not the type of cat that it's very easy to like brush her all the time. It took 7 years before she would even come sit up on the couch. It took a long time for her to friendly up. Most people who come over, she doesn't even come down. And if she does, she just hisses at you. She'll let you touch her, but she'll just hiss at you and pretend like she's going to kill you the whole time. So it took a while for her to get friendly enough with me to be able to do this. And I tried it with, I had some old, like the standard cheapy wall clippers from Walmart or Walgreens, I guess. And I tried it with those, and they were so loud that it just totally freaked out the cat. And you couldn't even keep them stopping from like jumping around and scratching everything. So I went and got these high quality clippers. It was like, I don't remember how much they were, like $100 or $200, but they were super expensive. But really, one clipping and it pays for it because it cost $300 to get them all trimmed up by the professional. And this is like, I don't know, fourth or fifth time that I've done this for these guys. I'm getting pretty decent at it now. You can see I just kind of go with the flow, where whichever direction they're standing, that's the direction that I'll get. If they're sitting with their chest up, I'll get their chest area. If they're just laying down huddled, I'll try to get their back once they stand up. And then the problem is, once you get all the spots and then they're not moving anymore, you kind of have to manhandle them up a little bit and like pick them up to get the underneath side. That's the part they don't like, is that underneath side. So you got to pick them up a little bit to get that. It works well though. I mean, you kind of have to do it. Another thing is that mask. If they didn't have that mask, oh man, you'd be in trouble. They get like 20 times more docile, I guess, when you put that mask on them. And another good thing about the mask is it protects their whiskers, right? Cats use their whiskers a lot. And if you're clipping them without the mask on, then you might they whip their head around looking at everything. You might accidentally snip off some of their whiskers, but the little mask holds them in there so you can't accidentally clip their whiskers off. And after I shaved them, Kristen came out and clipped their nails. We kept the mask on her while she got a manicure also. And George is getting really pretty good at getting a haircut. She doesn't really mind. I know that they know that they're getting it, because as soon as you get the clippers out and everything, they get a little antsy. And as soon as you put one of them, the other one will go run and hide. So we'll close up the bedrooms upstairs before we start on one of them, so that they will stay downstairs and I can get both of them back to back. That way they're both done and they're not running and hiding under the bed and really hard to get the other one done. But right about now I'm starting to sweat and it starts getting hard to see, but I can't. It's not like you can take a towel and wipe off, because then you just would be wiping tons of cat hair all over your face. But they look so cute when they're done. They have the little lion cut. Their face is still all hairy. There's Piper talking to you on the microphone. But she looks so cute right now. Her lion mane is still there, and her tail is still all fluffy. And there's a few little patchy spots all over her where I've missed a spot here and there. I don't like to keep them going for too long. I do about 20-30 minutes. I think that's enough of clipping them. After that, they start getting real antsy. And here on George, we're getting close to being done. I'm just trying to trim up the last little spots. And that leash really helps with, see the little clampy thing on there? On the little board? I made the little clamp kind of like, to match what they use at the professional place or at the PetSmart. They got the little leash that hangs down. So I made that, and it hangs down. But when they're covered, you miss a few spots where that harness was at. So I have to take it off at the end and get the spots where the harness was. And as long as they don't have the mask on, they won't run away, because they know they're up on that thing. They'll fall off. And they're old. They don't want to fall off on the floor from the way 3 feet up high massage table thing. But 7 times I've done that, you've got to figure $200 or $300 a time. That's a lot, right? $1,500 to 2,000 something saved for the cost of what, $200 clippers and an hour's worth of work each time. 7 hours worth of work. And then I also wait a couple days. I'll pet them real good while most of their hair is off. I'll give them a good petting for a few days and get all the dander off of their skin, because they get real dandery too over the long hair. It doesn't let a lot of the dander out, so their hair gets really greasy and nasty. But now I'm getting the bottom of her feet, getting her ready for her nail clipping. Then we do that, and then after that, it's Piper's turn. And I got a little bit of getting Piper this thing cut out halfway through Piper's, so you'll get to see half of Piper's and see how she acts about it too. But here we go. And I didn't show the clipping because poor George, she didn't like that part. First turn. You can open the upstairs if George wants to go up there.
I have to watch her a little bit.
Okay.
That's her foot.
Yeah, one of poor George's little fingernails, the one that's like in between her thumb and her forefinger, like curls around, and like as it grows, it curls in and up into her foot. So that one was hurting her foot a little bit. It was bleeding a little bit. So we kept an eye on her instead of letting her go run upstairs. It seems like she's fine now, though. She's running up and down the stairs a lot faster and moving around a lot faster than she was before. We'll have to get the toenails a little more often. But you can see Piper's pretty mellow. I got the harness on her a little funky right now. She didn't stick her feet. She didn't put her feet all the way up. So as soon as I noticed that, I just fixed it on her. It's like holding her front legs to her body right now, because she just didn't want to move. She just wanted to sit there and not stick her feet up, which made it kind of easy. It's almost like she's just tied up, like hog tied. You can't even stand up and try to get away. Piper, I don't know, this time Piper seemed a little worse than George about it. George seemed to be pretty decent. I was trying to get hers a little more even, so I pushed backwards on it to get the parts that were little not cut perfectly to pop up, so then I could cut those parts off again. Come on, fix her harness. It's not looking good. That guy still didn't notice there. I think he finally noticed. There, now she can put her feet up properly. Man, It took him a minute. This is about, what, 2.5 times speed. I got it sped up. She didn't really change what she was doing anyway, even though now that I got the thing fixed. Another thing, now that that clipper's been running for like almost an hour solid, it started getting hot, so I started turning it off for a minute and feeling it, seeing if it was hot, and then I'd go back, clip for a little bit, then turn the clipper off and let it cool down and clean up the fur. I got a ton of fur, man. These guys, I could have made a pillow out of all that fur. It would have been a really nice pillow. So if anybody is interested in a cat fur pillow, let me know here in about 6 months when we do this again. I can get you guys a quality cat fur pillow. Good for people with no cat allergies. Or it'd be like good to test for cat allergies, right? Because it's got a lot of dander in it. A lot of oily fur. Now both cats, you would think it would take them a while to like forgive you for this. It's like torturing them with the clippers. But really, they're pretty quick to forgive about it. Piper especially, she forgives immediately. As soon as she gets out of the harness, she totally forgives you. George, it takes a few hours, but she likes to hiss at you a few times after it, and then she comes right down and sits back down with you and lets you pet her again. It only took 10 years to get her like that, where she would come up and sit on the couch, and then another 4 hours after torturing her with the clippers for her to feel safe about coming and sitting on the couch again. And this, for some reason, the thing stopped taping the Piper haircut. I think the phone was out of battery or something, I don't know. But it stopped filming the whole thing, so you didn't get the entire Piper haircut experience. But you got most of it. And then I was thinking about, like, what am I going to get a picture of them all done and put that as like the end screen. But I just took and got this little video of them sitting together on the couch being nice to each other, because sometimes they don't be super nice to each other, especially Piper. She's kind of a bully. She'll mess with George, and sometimes she'll try to be nice to George, and then George doesn't want any part of it and hisses at her and tells her to leave. But right after this, I guess they suffered through the trauma together, so they were super nice to each other. And they both were, right? George was grooming Piper, and Piper groomed George. They're so sweet. And that's pretty much it. You can see how cute they are once they don't have all the greasy, long, dandery hair. They're super happy about it. They might not be super happy while they're getting a haircut, but they're super happy to have it in the end. Alright, till the next one. Keep subscribing so I can get that 100 subscribers and do the one chip challenge. I'm keeping it out even though we're packing everything else up. I got that chip out waiting to eat it and suffer. So have a wonderful day. And if you guys need your cat's haircut, do it yourself. Don't call me. I just did too. I'm done for a while. It's not that bad. I still gotta give these guys a bath, so that'll come here in next weekend maybe. I don't think I'll video that though. It's real traumatic for George.